What's up, y'all? Welcome back. 80 Fitness Live every Sunday, 12 Eastern Time. Welcome back. Today we're talking about how to build muscle and stay lean this summer. The best diet and training tips. But first,
update. What updates do we have?
The Philly Classic, NBC Philly Classic is Saturday. We got 2 athletes on peak week.
Yeah, that's right. One of which you guys recently saw, Belle Cameron. So she wanted to do a second show, especially because she was sick going into her first show this season. She kind of wants that redemption there. So we are going to bring our A game to the Philly Classic stage. I'm super excited for her.
And she looks way better.
Oh, yeah. It's like night and day for sure.
It's tough getting on stage and trying to peak while you're sick, yo. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not possible, but man, it's tough.
I mean, just naturally you have like an inflammation response when you're sick. So that automatically means you're going to be holding water no matter how hard you try to get rid of that water. So yeah, we definitely weren't at our best at her last show, but she still did good. But yeah, bringing that A game. What other updates do we have? How did your cut go this week?
I finally hit maintain at 2,500, so we didn't lose any weight. We're at 210.
Or did we?
Coach Camille said to go ahead and maintain for another week to confirm it because the scale is very fickle and there's a whole lot of variables involved. So before we decide what we're going to do next, we need to confirm that 2,500 to maintain. How'd you do in your cut?
I lost 1.2 pounds this week, which is pretty good. I know last week I think I had said I was the same, but looked leaner. This week the scale definitely moved to match, and you could definitely tell, especially through my back. I did toss photos in the community section for you guys this week like James did, so you can kind of see how I will evolve over the next 19 weeks or so. So definitely check those out.
Are you posting your calories or just your?
No, I just posted the before and after photos. But calorically, I did decide to take a couple hundred calories out this week on my training day specifically. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about a diet strategy today. That's actually the one I'm using right now for this cut. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit here.
Angel Native Grand
Hey,
good morning. Welcome back. All right.
And thank you, Native Grit, for reaching out on some apparel. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to go check some of our inventories and get back to you. But I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, fantastic. Great to see you both on this morning.
Any other updates?
I think that's about it.
We actually have an athlete, y'all. This is insane. She was able to gain like close to 16 pounds of muscle since... When was that? Her last show? October?
Whenever the Conqueror.
Yeah, it wasn't the Conqueror. It was the OCB Chesapeake, which was October. I mean, this is unheard of, y'all. Like, she's been doing the DEXA scans to track her body fat percentage, muscle mass, yada, yada. And yeah, same body fat percentage that she competed at, but she's way heavier on the scale. And the results just show that it's all muscle mass. I've never seen that level of growth. So... yeah.
So once again, genetically gifted individual, and I, in my 30 years experience, haven't seen this either. She's growing and growing and growing. She already outgrew women's physique. She's going to do women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. She looks great, and she just keeps putting on muscle, man.
I mean, and it's like, you know, even if you question the paperwork, right, on the DEXA scan, visually you can see how much more mass she has compared to last show. And we're not even... you know, she would be 19, 20 weeks out from show at this point. Like, she's just, you know, she's incredible. Yeah.
Native Grit said I was gone for a few weeks, thought I broke a wire in my chest.
Oh, no. Hopefully that's all kind of fixed up and going good now.
I'm going to assume since you thought you broke it, you didn't.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're okay, brother.
Yeah, that's scary stuff, though, for sure.
We're definitely happy to have you back.
Absolutely. All right. So, you know, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. We are so excited. If you are new to our channel, welcome. 88 Fitness is all about bringing in that community team dynamic where we kind of learn and share together. And you guys get to reap the benefits of James and I's combined 30 years of experience with building muscle. So definitely if you are looking to build some, you know, muscle, you are at the right place. So
yes. There's a lot of different ways to learn. The easy way is to learn from somebody else. The hard way is to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. So definitely learn from our mistakes.
I already made all the mistakes, so you can learn from me. You don't have to make the same mistakes.
Right. So today's topic is how do you kind of stay lean but still be muscular, kind of dialing in that summer physique. Most of you probably noticed that weather has definitely turned, especially here on the East Coast.
Summer's coming.
Summer is coming. And so everyone's going to be wanting, rock that beach body for sure. Got it. But that can be a challenge, right? So today we're going to talk about, how you can structure your diet for muscle growth without getting too fat. We'll also talk about best training strategies to maximize hypertrophy while still staying lean.
Is it even possible?
Yeah. So
we'll achieve hypertrophy while staying lean.
For sure. And then we'll talk a little bit about supplements, how recovery techniques kind of play into that as well to optimize those results. So definitely a fun topic. I encourage you guys to drop comments throughout on like what your biggest struggle is, whether it's the building muscle part or the staying lean part. And definitely hit that like and subscribe button if you are not subscribed. Like, make sure you're getting the updates on the notifications when they come out. So,
did you mention Tina's video?
I did not. That's another update.
One more update.
All right. So Tina, who's been interacting with us quite a bit, it's actually reached out to us on Instagram, which we love, by the way. So feel free to engage with us on any social media platform. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, just to name a few. So, but Tina shared a cool video from us by John Hart. It was a session she did with him, which if you guys are not familiar with him, he was actually trained by our hero, Mike Mentor. And so he's got a lot of no BS, common sense applications to training for hypertrophy. And the particular video that Tina was in was talking about intensity and kind of going beyond where you think your mental limit is and pushing beyond. So it's cool for sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Big T's on. What's up,
Hey,
Big T? Welcome back, baby. Native Grit says, I've been thinking about this. Why isn't Lee Haney mentioned as much as other champions? That's a fantastic question, bro. I don't know the answer. I probably have a couple theories. Mr. Haney is extremely religious. He likes to spread the word of God, which I have no problem with, but a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And it's controversial, so a lot of people won't go around it or touch it. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. Lee Haney used to do a show on either Saturday or Sunday mornings with another preacher, and it was lifting weights and talking about God. So
that's pretty neat, actually.
It is neat, but a lot of people stay away from him because of that.
Interesting. All right. So you guys ready to get into today's topic?
This is a good one.
Yeah. And for sure, you guys know by now you can ask us any questions, even if it's not related to this topic. Just fire away in the chat and we will get them answered for you. So first, let's talk about the balance between muscle growth and fat loss, because those are two very different goals, right? So there's definitely some science behind that. And there's some changing opinions on this, actually. I would say, if you were to ask me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if muscle growth requires a caloric surplus or not, I would probably tell you 100% yes. You can't gain muscle if you're not eating a caloric surplus. I think there's a lot of varying opinions out there and a lot of research to back up that that's not exactly true. And I see more questions on here.
We got Angel says, James, I saw you short on gorilla raises. I like to do them single arm, but never knew that they were called. I'm always learning something new from you. Thank you. You're very welcome, brother. I'm happy to help. It was actually Camille that showed me that.
So it's actually a forgotten exercise. There's an article out there. If you Google forgotten bodybuilding, there's actually 7 of them. And that was one of them. And I absolutely loved it when I saw it. So yeah. Great one.
I like that one too. It's a good shoulder workout. It looks a little bit silly. That's probably why I got dropped. But Aileen says I cut about 400 calories and do more fasted cardio. Very good. It's a good way to lean out.
For sure.
Terrence says, I started getting a lot of tips from the great Charles Glass videos. He really knows his stuff. Master class, baby. Charles Glass been around forever, man.
Yeah, he's got incredible YouTube, even Instagram. You can find a lot of videos and a lot of techniques that are a little different that I think, can still get you gains. It's definitely good stuff.
Seems like a super nice guy, too.
Yeah, I would love to train with him one day. That'd be a lot of fun. All right. So previously, way back when, I would say like, hey, yeah, you got to be in a caloric surplus if you want to gain muscle mass. But through like some of the Mike Mentzer teachings and other research, that's not exactly true. Like there's a lot of other variables that go into being able to gain muscle mass.
Listen, y'all, we just talked about my female client. We didn't say her name. I don't know if we want to. Put on 18 pounds of muscle, and I can tell you she was not at a surplus.
No, she was like in a caloric deficit, probably.
She did a show, so she was at extreme deficit, came off the show for only a couple weeks, and then started dieting again, getting ready for another one. So I can tell you she's not at a surplus. And she put on how much? 18 pounds of muscle?
Like 16 pounds of muscle, yeah.
16 pounds of muscle, y'all. Ooh, man.
Right. So what do you think are some of those strategies then to do that? Like what specifically do you think she did to get that?
Number one, genetics. That's first and foremost. We both said we've never seen this kind of results. And I've been doing this for almost 30 years and I've never seen results like this. She's just growing.
So maybe previously she wasn't training at her genetic potential until, she tried bodybuilding, you think?
Number one factor is genetics. Now I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
She was doing CrossFit. She did MMA. She never specifically trained for bodybuilding. Yes. So that obviously is the key to make her muscles grow. The other things didn't do it for her, but she has the genetic factors to make her grow, and she does everything right.
Very consistent.
This morning was the first time she canceled in 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's sick. And I believe her. So if she could make it here, believe me, she would. And like I said, she does everything right, and she's making the results like crazy.
Right. She probably getting better protein synthesis. Another thing too that's interesting about her, she's a vegan athlete.
Vegan.
And so that makes it hard sometimes when we're trying to get the protein in there.
And she's natural. She competed at OCB last time, natural drug tested show. She's natural and she's vegan and she's blowing up.
I love it. That just shows you that it can be done. It's very interesting.
Yeah. I say it all the time, genetics, there's people that can look at weights and grow. Ronnie Coleman had 18-inch arms before he even lifted a weight, y'all.
Right.
There are these genetic anomalies out there, and she's one of them. It's great to see it, and she deserves it because she's doing it all, and she's doing it right.
Sure.
And she put in the hard work. I mean, she busts her butt. Believe me, I'm training her, and she goes hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think intensity is another factor, and that was the one Mike Mentzer talks about a lot. Like a lot of people just don't train at their absolute max. Like they are always holding something back in reserve.
Very few.
Yeah.
Will go to their max. Very few. I mean, you have to. We talked about this. You're short-circuiting your body if you go to failure.
Right.
Your body doesn't want to fail. It's not designed to fail. You're actually pushing it past all the precautions, all the things that tell you to stop. You keep pushing past everything physically telling you to stop to get to that failure point.
So yeah, so there's that. So obviously gaining muscle and caloric consumption can vary, I think.
So I got my train of thought back. We were talking about, can you grow on a caloric surplus? Many years ago, I would have said no as well.
Right.
But study after study after study showing at a maintain and even at a deficit, you can make muscles and gain muscles.
Yeah. Now let's switch gears and talk about fat loss. So calorically, you would typically tell the person like, hey, you got to be at a caloric deficit. I think it can vary too. Like I've seen people that I have them on a maintain or whatever, and they actually lose body fat by building more muscle, and then they kind of change their body composition. So I think that's not actually that straightforward either.
Agreed. There's a lot of different variables there.
Sure. Terrence says, Mentor believed taking a few days off from the gym, but pushing himself in the gym.
That's right.
Yeah,
max recovery and max intensity, high intensity training, baby. That is Mentor in a nutshell. What is the stimulus and recovery?
All right. Sure. I think, another key to it is also nutrient timing and looking at the macronutrient balance to support whatever your goals are. I don't think you could easily go and eat a trash fast food diet and get the results that you're looking for with that kind of beach looking physique. The people that look like that typically aren't eating junk. So
correct. You have to feed your body the nutrients it needs. You're cheating yourself if you don't, especially if you train. If you think you're going to get the same results eating ice cream that you would eating chicken breast, you're just wrong. Even at a caloric deficit, if you're eating just ice cream, you're going to lose weight.
Right.
You're going to lose fat, but you're not going to have the nutrients to make that muscle.
Right. Nor you're probably not going to be healthy either. Like you could run into some other health issues if you're eating like that.
Yeah,
for sure. So let's talk a little bit now about recomposition style approach and why, this might give you the best of both worlds with being able to build muscle while stay lean.
This is genius.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the styles I specialize in with my clients. I have a lot of people that come to me. They're probably pretty close to a target weight. I would say within 15, 20 pounds of where they want to be. And I really work with them on body recomposition and leaning out while building slightly bigger muscles and all that. So it's a really fun topic for me. I'm doing that right now, actually, for my contest prep. So what I do with this is I try to target small caloric deficit on the days that I'm not doing resistance training. And then I try to do a slight either maintain or surplus on the days that I am training.
Yeah. This is brilliant. Mm-hmm. And it's called a zigzag diet, if you didn't know what it's called. Aileen's got another tip. About carbs, only before and after working out.
Yeah, you beat us to it. But yeah, that's going to be one of our tips for you.
Great tip, Aileen.
Mm-hmm. So on training days, you could do a slight caloric surplus. And that's really helping you to have the energy to hit the intensity levels that you need to in the gym. So this might only be 200 to 300 calories over your maintenance. And if that, and then on your rest days, you're doing a slight caloric deficit. Again, maybe 200 to 300 under, where you would be. And so for me, on my training days, I'm probably eating around 1600. On my non-training days, I'm eating around 1400, just so you have an idea of how that looks for me.
Yes. Now y'all have been tracking my $2,500 calorie diet.
I feel like we spend like $2,500 on our food, y'all. I'm just telling you, that's like the monthly budget there.
So we're talking about surplus and deficit. The first thing you have to establish is your maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you've seen how long it's taken me to establish this maintain. We got one more week to confirm it to see if it's a true maintain or not. Then we can do 200 surplus, 200 deficit. But until you find that maintain, and it can take some time to figure out your maintain.
Yeah, that could take upwards of 3 to 4 weeks sometimes. Like the metabolism's not fast. Your body doesn't adapt as quickly as you would think it does. So sometimes, you could have these false positives where like, hey, that's not actually my maintain.
Right.
And so you don't want to be super responsive or reactive to what you're seeing. You want to take your time.
If you have time, if you're doing a contest and you're under the gun, you don't have time. Okay, start cutting calories. If you have time, which you should, find your maintain first.
Yeah,
and then go from there.
Yeah.
Big T says we would have a good solid fat burner supplement would help you with fat loss goals. Yes, it would.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll get to that in the nutrition piece, but. For sure.
Great point, Big T. Once you hit a plateau, you can always try that fat burner to get you past that. Mm-hmm. Native Grit says cable chest press versus barbell bench for hypertrophy. Which is better? Barbell bench, baby.
Yeah. So my issue on the cable chest presses is that you're usually standing up and you have to counter that weight. So you're not going to be able to press as much weight.
Yep. When you're laying on the bench, you got a firm back. You don't have to counter the weight. You just press it.
Now, Native Grit, I still do I like seated cable chest presses. You can get a lot of stretch on those pecs, which obviously with the barbell, you're not going to be able to get that much stretch on the pecs. So it's still a great exercise. I would actually superset them. I would hit a barbell bench press and then go into a cable press.
Beat me to it. Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say. Superset them, either pre-exhaust or post-exhausted with it.
Yeah, but good stuff for sure. And you'll have to tell us, Nita Grit, how you're liking some of that new equipment you got for yourself and the family. I want to hear about that. So yeah, I think the Zigzag diet approach is, pretty effective. I think it helps you to prevent unwanted fat gain, but still promotes hypertrophy on some level.
It's brilliant because, you can start by a surplus of 300. Oh, that's too much. I gained a little bit of weight. Let's only surplus 200. Oh, that's still too much. I gained a little weight. Let's surplus 100. Bam. You got it. You nailed it.
Eileen's got a really important thing here, and I think it's an interesting one.
So let's talk about that. People get caught up in this one, Aileen. Most people think they can eat all they want, fruit and veggies. It's all carbs and fructose. You are 100% correct. I can't tell you how many obese people come up to me and say, all I eat is fruit.
I feel like it's a Weight Watchers thing where they're like, oh, it's like 1.2 point per whatever. But yeah, you can't.
Their carbs, their fructose, and their
calories.
Yeah. They are.
I mean, now granted, you could eat a whole lot of spinach compared to if I were going to eat a loaf of bread.
Sure, and you can eat fruits and veggies. You just got to count the calories. They're not free.
All right.
A lot of people are eating bananas all day. It's free because it's a banana. Whoa, dude, that's loaded with fructose.
Oh, it's a lot of sugar.
Loaded with carbs and loaded with calories. It is not free.
Yeah, that's usually one of the lessons we have to share with our competitive athletes. If they're newbies, they are not tracking what things have calories in them, and they're just like, oh, I had no idea. It's pretty earth-shattering if you count your calories.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, the banana's free because it's fruit.
The banana makes me sad. I love bananas, and I cannot eat them right now just because calorically it's not worth it for me.
I love bananas and raisins. And if you look at them, they're both loaded with sugar. They're both loaded with fructose.
Raisins are by far the worst. I have a weird thing that I like to eat. It's a rice cake with peanut butter on it, raisins, and honey. I don't know why I like that, but that is loaded with sugar, but individually, everything's good for you. So it's very misleading, but yeah, that's definitely a sugar bomb.
I like it too, just not on a rice cake.
But yeah, that was a great point, Eileen. You really have to be careful. And I think if you don't count calories, you should. At least once.
If you're serious, you're counting calories. Period, end of sentence. If you're serious, you're counting calories.
Yeah. A lot of people eat the same things over and over again. So I tell people
makes it easy.
Go ahead and count it so and then if you're eating the same things, okay, but come back and spot check every once in a while that you haven't drifted too far away from what, things actually weigh.
Eating the same thing. It just makes it easier to track it.
Sure.
I eat the same breakfast every day. Beets and yogurt. Boom. It's right there. Beets. It comes up before I even type the whole word in. Boom. Add it. Yogurt. Add it. Done.
So since Eileen's on, we've actually been doing the baking soda thing. I started that this week. Yeah, I think there's something there. I think you do definitely. I still burn when I work out, but I think maybe I recover faster. I've noticed some other things too, my heart rate's not as high on some of the lifts that it normally was. So I don't know if that, is a factor in there, but it's just something I noticed this week.
Yeah. Aileen confirmed it. Me too.
Okay.
I feel like I'm recovering faster since I've been doing the baking soda. I think I've been doing it 2 weeks now.
One thing I did not know, Eileen, and I count calories, so I put everything in my Fitness Pal. Baking soda, 1 teaspoon has 1,200 milligrams of sodium in it. So if sodium is something that y'all are sensitive to, you're going to want to maybe not do that. But
no calories in it?
There's no calories in it, just sodium.
Dave and Buster said, don't forget to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Amen, brother. If you're taking creatine, you better add another hydrate in there too. Hydrate. Water. Every living thing needs water to grow. If that's not enough to make you drink water, well, guess you don't want to grow.
Yeah, for sure. And stay hydrated when you lift. A lot of people, like I'll have clients come and they're like, I'm like, where's your water? Like in the car. I'm like, all right, well, we're not starting until you go get it. So
I like to take a drink, probably a sip almost between every set.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the recomp style is pretty effective. You get the best of both worlds. And it's easy to track, easy to adjust. And you don't walk around feeling like you're starving all the time. So there's that aspect of it too.
You don't have to really sweat the scale too much either. I mean, I've told the story a million times. I had a competitor female lose 3 pounds her entire prep, but she recomped her whole body. She went from a donut to a goddess, basically. You know, she was ripped and she won the show. Yeah. So don't get caught up on that scale, you know, and luckily she didn't get caught up on the scale. So we made it through the prep. She didn't stress. She wasn't all acting all goofy because the scale wasn't moving. She could see in the mirror her body was changing. Right. And that's all that mattered. Yeah,
I would encourage you guys to take photos. Photos and videos don't lie. Like you can look week to week, kind of like we're doing. In fact, for my photos, I'm going to toss up in the community section. I'm going to keep the start one the same. And you guys can see the change week to week over the 19 weeks and guarantee it'll be pretty drastic by the time we get to 19 weeks.
Better believe it. Aileen says, I lose 5 to 8 pounds by just doing a morning walk, 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I'm assuming that's fasted as well. That's great.
Yeah. So let's now shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about like why body fat percentage matters for muscle definition. You know, on one aspect, you could be too lean, but on the other aspect, your body fat could be too high.
There's very few out there that are too lean, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you are too lean, and now we're probably talking like maybe under 8% for men, 18% for women, your muscles could end up looking flat and your performance is probably, you know, it could suffer. Yeah. So you want to be a little careful. That's a hard conversation with athletes a lot. They want to stay lean like that, but can't.
Okay. So over the years, I've had this twice. One was a female going through a bad breakup, and she was not eating. And she was extremely skinny, and I told her, you need to up your calories by at least 1,000 right now. And she did. And she went in and won her show. Nice. But if she stayed on the road she was on, she would have been way too lean, way too skinny, not enough muscle. The other guy was not really a workout guy. He came to the gym maybe 3 times, smoked cigarettes, drank coffee all day, didn't really have muscles, but was just a skinny dude. Yeah. And he didn't make it, y'all. He made it to the gym 3 or 4 times and then never saw him again.
So I know that this is hard for some people. I've had some clients where they come to me and they are very lean, very skinny, and they know they want to gain muscle and they know they're going to probably have to work out really hard and probably eat a whole lot more. And it's mentally hard for them. You just take it slow, right? Like add a little bit. You don't have to add 200 calories in right away. Like add a little bit, keep adding. And track it closely. Like if you are not liking the result, well, you can always like pump the brakes and reverse that. But 9 times out of the 10, they've always loved the result, right?
Correct. You beat me to it. Every single person I've had, which all 2 of them. The one that I had that was too lean that made the muscle was so happy and loved the way she looked. I mean, she was, I'm not going to use the word anorexic, but she was extremely skinny. Right. And when she put the muscle on and looked in the mirror, she was happy as can be. Yeah. Aileen said, I told people to build muscle before thinking about leaning out. Better definition. If you don't have the muscle, you're just going to look like a skinny guy. Yeah. What's the saying? 6-pack doesn't count on a skinny guy.
Sometimes it's hard though, Aileen. Like when we meet people, a lot of times we'll say like, all right, we might need to lean you out to kind of see what we're working with. And then sometimes we're like, oh no, like that body fat actually made them look like they had muscles, but they don't. Yeah. And then you have to work on those target areas. So yeah, you gotta be able to see kind of what you're working with for sure.
Yes. And if you've ever had somebody who was overweight and then they got lean and you tell them to put on weight, they're going to freak out every single time. Just be aware of that. They were heavy, lost weight. You tell them to gain weight back again, even if it's 5 pounds, 2 pounds, they're going to push back.
Yeah.
Just be aware. All right, David Buster, you have to eat to lose weight. Starving yourself just shuts your metabolism down. There's a lot of different studies on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are so individualized that you got to really look at the person and see what will work for them. I mean, I've had clients eat next to nothing and keep losing weight, not an impact. I've had clients where you're like slight deficit and their body's like, nope, I'm not losing anymore. Got to give them cheat meals and all sorts of weird stuff. So it's just so individualized.
Yeah, and everybody's different. You know, I drank the Kool-Aid and said, you know, everybody should be eating 6 small meals throughout the day. And I had so many clients start to gain weight when they started doing that. And I said, whoa, let me pump my brakes now. Their goal is not to gain weight at the moment. They want to lose weight. So go ahead and go back to your 3 meals a day.
All right.
And guess what? They started losing weight. So it's all about calories, really.
And I've had a client where she wasn't even in that far of a deficit. Body would not budge. And then we start saying, all right, well, I want you to just this Saturday go eat whatever. What do you know? She lost like 3 pounds. So, hey, we rolled that way for probably 8 weeks all the way to the stage. It was like the craziest thing I had ever seen, but worked for her.
Yes, and that's the job of a coach is to figure out your diet and what works.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I would say that, you know, if your body fat percentage is too high, you're not going to see muscles either. So if you're looking for that beach physique, you know, that plays into there. For men, you know, you probably would be around 15%. For women, 25%. It's going to give you a pretty toned look. Anything over those ranges, yeah, you're going to look a little fluffy. So
yeah, if you aren't lean enough, you're never going to have 6-pack, bro. Brothers and sisters. You're never going to have a 6-pack if you're not lean enough. You can do sit-ups all week, all month, all year. If you're not lean enough, you're not going to see your abs.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough one. And yeah, I mean, body fat percentages can look different on different people too. Like it, you know, got to see how much muscle mass is under there.
Correct. If you don't have the muscle mass, I mean, like I said, skinny guy, right?
Yeah. All right, let's shift gears now and talk a little bit about metabolic adaptation and energy balance. And Aline kind of touched on this a little bit, but sometimes, like, let's say you know, if you've been at the same calories for too long, your body's going to adapt, right? Like we said in the beginning, it's not actually a fast process, but eventually it will catch up to you. So if you feel like you've slowed down with leaning out and dropping that body fat, then it's probably time to make a slight adjustment. I encourage you guys not to go too aggressive, too fast, because you end up with nowhere to go and it's a bad situation. But yeah.
And take your time, you know, play with your diet. You shouldn't be in a rush unless, like I said, you're under the gun. You all are following my story, I believe. I'm at 2,500 Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I eat whatever I want. It's probably over 5,000 calories, but that's like the cheat meal that speeds the metabolism up. Like Dave and Buster said, you're going to slow your metabolism the longer you diet. The longer you diet, the slower your metabolism gets. That's why you hit it with a cheat meal or a cheat day, spike the calories up, get that metabolism going back again, and then hopefully it lasts all week. So far, it's been working like a champion for me.
Yeah, the only thing with refeeds and cheat meals that I see people go wrong is they introduce them too early. You really do need to be kind of at that stall point or nearing it before you introduce that.
You definitely have to earn your cheat meal. Yes.
Yeah.
And if it's cheat meal, make it a cheat meal.
Not
if it's a cheat day, make it a cheat day. There's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, I actually think a really effective strategy, especially if you're not under the gun, is once you hit a stall point, actually take 2 weeks off and go back to your maintain. It gives your body a little bit of a break and allows it to continue on, and is really effective if you're not under the gun for time.
Yeah, speed your metabolism back up is what it'll do. Sunday.
That's right. So another thing that you can do is to increase your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's exactly what like Aleen's talking about, like going out and doing a walk. If you normally walk for 15 minutes, like go walk for 20, 30 minutes. You know, if you normally like go walk the dog, or I don't know,
take the stairs
at work, stuff like that, you can automatically kind of kick you out of that stagnant point.
Yep. So I think that's why Coach Camille had me go another week at 2,500 calories, because my work is physical and it varies week to week. So if this week coming up, I'm a lot more physical and got a lot more to do, a lot more moving, building, shaking, I'm probably going to lose weight at 2,500. Last week wasn't all that hard. It was kind of a slow week. So that might have been my maintain.
The other thing too, he trained legs later in the week. So I'm curious whether it's like a inflammation thing where you're holding some water.
I was very sore on weigh-in day.
Yeah.
Arms, legs, shoulders, everything was sore. Blue Splash, what's up? What do you usually do on an off day?
Good question.
It is a good question. So Camille and I work 2 jobs. We got real estate. You know, if we have a couple of hours, we'll probably sit on the couch and do nothing.
Yes.
Because we never get the chance to sit on the couch and do nothing.
It's very nice. Even then, we're usually working. Even though we're sitting there.
Usually we got our phone out and we're working. What are you doing day off? I like to rest as much as possible. So if I could lay down, I'll lay down. I like movies. I don't really watch sports anymore. Netflix and ice cream. I don't know what ice cream. Ice cream. There you go.
It's usually Netflix and ice packs.
Right. Yeah. Sitting on ice. Days off, I try to focus on recovery. So I eat as healthy as I can. I'll sit on ice. I'll take an ice bath. I'll sit on the recovery pad,
all right,
whatever you call that thing.
Heat pad?
No.
The acupressure mat.
The acupuncture pressure mat. I like to read, so I'll read a book, watch movies, listen to music. I think that's pretty much what everybody does. Mess with the animals a little bit. Sometimes Camille and I will go out for a hike, maybe go out to eat.
Yeah, I was gonna say right now I don't really have any rest days. Rest days mean cardio days usually for me right now, but I'm in contest prep, which is a little different.
And we talked about this before. You know, if we really want off days, we have to leave town.
Vacation, which I think Memorial Day, we're actually gonna go away to one of our places in the mountains, so that'll be fun.
Memorial weekend, we're going away. But, you know, we live a very busy life. You might be better off asking somebody else that question, because we really don't have much time to do stuff on our off days. Native Grit, is that your wearing the snapback for sale? It's not a snapback, it's a custom fit.
Yeah, so we actually don't have any more of the camo flex fit ones, but Native Grit, we do have snapback wide brim ones, and we have trucker snapback hats for sale. So I'll for sure get with you after live so we can get some stuff out to you.
Angel said, do you get massage therapy? Man, as much as I can.
I wish I could do that every week, Angel, but
we just don't
the costs or the time.
Yeah.
Both.
We'll usually get try to get a couple of massages when we go on vacation. So Memorial weekend, hopefully Camille will find a spa somewhere.
There's no place out in West Virginia where we're at. I wish. Blue Splash. Yeah, that's why I asked her if people still did abs and cardio on off days. You know, it depends what beats you up. Like there are certain cardios, Blue Splash, like if I'm doing, like I'm running on a treadmill or doing step mill, that's not relaxing. If I'm, you know, pedaling on a recumbent bike or walking on the treadmill, that's not really going to beat me up. That's fine. And I will do abs, you know, if I have time. That's, again, not going to beat me up. But I try to focus more on stretching, light cardio, that type of thing. Yeah,
we talked about this a little bit before Blue Splash. I'll go to the gym because I like the gym and my people are there and I like to talk to my people and socialize. So if it's a rest day, I'm going and foam rolling and stretching.
All right.
If I go to the gym on a rest day, that's what I'm doing at the gym.
All right. So let's talk a little bit now, maybe about some nutrition strategies to help you guys get ready for summer. You probably hear this.
More than the calories?
Huh?
More than the calories?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about the macronutrient demands and recommendations.
Okay.
I think you got to prioritize protein. I think it's pretty important. It's the key to muscle retention. Like our muscles are always atrophying. It doesn't matter if you're just sitting in this chair right now, my muscles are breaking down and atrophying. That's just how the human body works. So you want to make sure that you're at least providing more protein so you can build muscles to repair that.
I think we all know protein is key at this point.
Yeah.
We got a couple comments. Aileen says, I don't do abs on deficit, getting ab cramp. Man, ab cramps are awful.
That was me this week, Aileen. I was doing leg raises and I don't know, lower ab just completely locked up. It's been bothering me all week, matter of fact.
So I get ab cramps if I take some time off, a couple weeks off from training them, and then I'll get cramps maybe the first 2 weeks back, but then they go away. But man, ab cramp
is the worst.
Awful, man. And if it locks up and you can't get it to unlock, man, is it awful.
You look all crazy at the gym too.
Oh yeah, walking around, trying to get it to unlock. Yeah. Todd Johnson, happy Sunday to you both. Thank you, sir. Happy Sunday to you. Thanks for tuning in. David Buster says, on my rest days, I still try to get my steps in. Excellent. No muscle stress, just some movement to push the toxins out.
That's great. And that's hard sometimes.
Yeah, that's great. I said Camille and I would like to go on hikes and stuff on our rest days sometimes, depending on the weather or whatnot. It's not stressful. It's nice. It's a nice stroll. It doesn't beat us up. It's nice and relaxing.
Yeah, I'm loving this weather. It is like the perfect weather. It's not too hot and humid here yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
It's springtime, baby. Todd Johnson says, Brother James, your lower lat video was phenomenal.
Awesome.
I did that workout. It was dope. Let those lats pop, baby. Oh, yeah. Thanks for that feedback, Todd. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for doing the workout, too. That's fantastic.
Yeah, lats got to be like one of our favorite things to train. I know at least it's one of my favorites to train. For sure.
Not one of mine.
No, I love it. Like that pain, like if my lats are sore right now, Todd, matter of fact, like I went beast mode towards the end of the week and they are literally sore to the touch from lower lat all the way up to upper. So
I do like training back. It took me so many years to get the mind and muscle connection that back was never a favorite of mine. But I do enjoy it now and I can feel it and I can see the results. So it is pretty exciting to train back.
All right.
Aileen says 45% protein, 25% carbs, 30% fat when I cut. Fantastic, brother.
You know what I love that Aileen has on there is the 30% fat.
Yes.
A lot of people feel like when they cut, they got to cut the fat out, but fat's responsible for hormone production. So if you want to stay balanced, you want, that satiety, like feeling of fullness, like you cannot let the fat go below 20%.
Listen, and I want you to remember this when you're ready. You have essential proteins. If you don't eat protein, you're going to die. You have essential fats. If you don't eat fat, you're going to die. There's no such thing as essential carb.
Right. So, yeah, the first thing that I would recommend that you guys do is snap that 30% of your calories as fat. And then from there, dial in the protein. And then from there, whatever's left, that's when you dial in the carbs.
Yeah. I mean, Aileen's got a fantastic split.
Yeah.
If I would change anything going forward, to lean out more, if I needed to, I would do less carbs, more protein. I would keep the fat right where it's at.
Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, that kind of covered the fat section I was going to go over, but yeah, best sources for you guys are definitely going to be like things like avocados, your nuts, your olive oil, whole eggs, any of your fatty fishes. So, eat salmon, mackerel, whatever, to get those healthy, fats in, which are good for a lot of other things, not just, trying to lean out and gain muscle.
Yeah. Dave Buster said fat fights hunger. You're all right. Makes you feel fuller.
Yeah,
Aileen said, yeah, baby. Homemade butter. All right.
Yeah, I love that.
I want to try some of that. I never had homemade butter.
James is like a butter connoisseur. You guys probably don't know this, but my dude loves some butter.
Hey, it makes everything good. Talk to any chef on this planet. They'll tell you, put butter on everything.
I mean, he's kind of like a butter snob. He'll be like, oh, I don't know about this butter. Let's go.
And I've never had it homemade. All right, we're getting a little behind here. Blue Smash says, I feel underhand grip is a lot better than overhand on back exercise for me. Blue Smash, you are correct. You know, I forget who just said. Todd just said he watched the lower lat video. Anytime you get an underhand grip, you're targeting the lower lats as opposed to your traps and rear delts. So,
yeah, agree.
Great tip, and we agree.
So, Aline, what do you put in your homemade butter if you want to type that in there?
All right. Seaborn Karma, Brandon Cheney. Glad to see you two taking time to answer questions on fitness and other subjects as well. It's a big motivator to see others talking health and wellness. Seriously. We're here to help, baby. I'm so glad you're tuning in. That's fantastic.
Yeah, hit us with whatever questions you have.
Yeah, fire away. Hope your channel gets a lot of traffic because you guys are a big help. Oh, that's so awesome.
I appreciate that. We love getting feedback from you guys and interacting. And like I said earlier, feel free to reach out to us on other platforms as well. Okay. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Threads. So we love it.
Absolutely. We're here to help, and I'm glad it's helping.
All right, let's talk a little bit now about carbs because we talked about protein. It's a must. Like, go ahead, try to eat your body weight or close to it in protein. Get the 30% fat. But now, what about carbs?
Carb you can play with, and I love Aileen's tip before and after your workout.
Yeah, so definitely for pre-workout, post-workout. I would focus on lower carb things at night if you're going to eat the carbs at night. But often I feel like that's just not necessary if you are trying to lose fat. So keep that in mind. Yeah. Let's see. Aline said just whipped cream, 35%, and whipped until it's a ball of butter. Keep buttermilk for a pancake. All right. I like that. Dave and Buster says, love the supinated small mag grip for cable crunches.
Okay. You're using this small handle mag for your cable crunches. Very good. I've never tried that. I do it with the rope.
Yeah. So you would be facing the stack, I'd take it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're holding that behind your head or in front of your face?
Yeah. Let us know. Either way, I think could work.
Yeah.
I mean, I might actually like this way because you don't have that rope rubbing on your neck.
That's why I use the rope, because I can hold it here. Boom. In front.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to try
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
That's what's up. Aileen says, my breakfast, it's my only protein. The butter's the only protein at your breakfast. Interesting. Man, we're going to have to try some homemade butter.
I know. That sounds awesome. We're getting all sorts of great tips from you guys. Keep them coming. But yeah, so one of the things with the carbs, and maybe you guys don't experience this, but my job, man, carbs are everywhere. Like, there's always a birthday party, baby shower. Someone brought all the stuff from their house because they don't want it there. Like,
let me help them out before they start typing. If you're an American, you're going to have carbs at your work every day, all day.
So that's another tip too, especially in the summer. Like, you are constantly going to parties, this, that, the other. So, you probably don't need to worry about putting carbs in your diet purposely. Like, save it for those opportunities where you are out, like at the barbecue. Then you can have the carbs, whatever. Like, day to day, I would probably, pull that back a little bit and be a little more cautious.
So at my work, everybody knows right now that I'm a bodybuilder. I'm fitness. I put my food in. So if there's going to be an event, they give me notice. For example, we're going to have breakfast Tuesday morning. They let me know last week so I can plan the breakfast into my day. I just have to remember Tuesday they're bringing in breakfast.
Yeah, in fact, we're doing a breakfast at my job, and you better believe that's going to be one of my training days because I get more calories.
So one of the guys is a big hunter, and he got a bunch of wild boar. So we got pork roll from the wild boar, and then obviously they're going to bring in bagels and bread and stuff to put the pork roll on. But I'm excited to try the wild boar pork roll.
Right.
I'm not sure if I'll put it on bread or not. If I can fit it into my diet, I will, but it might just be the pork roll.
Aline says they call me chicken and rice at work. Dude, I eat the same thing too all the time. So yeah, they probably have names for me too.
Bodybuilding staple, man. Chicken and rice, baby.
For sure.
Bodybuilding staple.
So yeah, the other tip, we talked a little bit about it, is calorically cycling, for those leaner gains. So for instance, let's say you were, I don't know, 180-pound person, you could probably eat 2,800 calories on your training days, and maybe you pull it back to 2,200. I don't know, like just tossing numbers out. You really have to figure out what works for you and kind of where your maintain actually is to adjust that. But that would just be an example for you.
Sure. And you can use my example. It is a zigzag diet, but I zigzag on the weekends. I don't worry about training days. I don't worry about rest days. Monday through Fridays, 2,500. Saturday, Sundays, about 5,000.
Yeah, and mine is a zigzag throughout the week to match up with the training days versus just the rest cardio days. And then I do go up to 2,500 on one day on the weekend. So overall, I think it's still interesting. I still average about 1,600 for the whole week if you factor in the zigzagging and then the spike on the one weekend day. So yeah, that tells me that overall about 1,600 is a deficit for me.
Dave and Buster said the pronate hits the top and the supinate the lower, with the NutriGrip hitting the whole abs.
All right.
That is good tips, brother. I'm definitely going to try it now. I'm going to try the different grips too. Fantastic. Aileen says zigzag here, 2 high carbs on both legs day.
That's perfect.
That's another tip, and I believe Terrence Big T does the same thing. He loads up his carbs on leg day because you're going to need them to get through that leg day, baby.
Absolutely.
And you're going to burn them off. You're burning more calories and more carbs during your leg day than any other day. So that's another great tip. Great tip, Aileen.
Oh, yeah. I track it pretty closely. Yeah, anytime I'm training legs, I'll burn like 560, 580 per calories. If I'm working out arms or something, it's maybe 300 max.
We've talked about this before, y'all. I can deadlift 500 pounds. I cannot curl 500 pounds. So obviously you're burning and building a whole lot more on leg day than any other day out there.
Leg day is almost like a cardiovascular workout too.
Blue Splash says back and leg days he's hitting high carbs. Fantastic.
Nice. I'm assuming those are the areas that you were trying to grow the most in too.
And back can be nasty as well.
It's a big muscle.
It is. I do my deadlifts on leg day, but a lot of people do them on back day. So yeah.
Sounds good.
And rack pulls. Don't forget rack pulls, baby. 800-pound rack pulls. So you're going to need them carbs and you're going to use them.
Just be careful with the rack pulls. I mean, I think rack pulls just are not for me, you guys. I think I am stronger than my bones and joints, unfortunately. And man, it just beats me up every time I try that.
Mental health and bodybuilding. Do you think there's a lot of struggles due to expectations?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of quitting due to expectations. I mean, I can't tell you how many people, clients and just normal people, coming up to me in the gym saying, "Hey, I've been doing this for 3 weeks. How come I'm not ripped?
Why am I not Ronnie Coleman?
I've been doing this for 3 months. How come I don't have big muscles?" And I kind of laugh in the back of my mind, but I say, "Listen, man, it's a long game."
Yeah, a lot of being a coach and a trainer is managing expectations. So, I have a client that's getting ready for a second show, and they're like, "Oh, I got so much more leaning out to do." And it's like, yes, this is true, but let's look at where we've come from the first show. Like, you are more muscular, you are way leaner than the last show. And we need to celebrate that and take that as the win, not kind of comparing ourselves to others and where we should be. So
there's a reason, competitors only compete once or twice a year, and it's close together. They need that time to build that muscle the whole year to fix what the weak point is and come back and compete again with the fixed weak point, and hopefully not another one pops up.
Yeah, and that's hard though. There is like a huge mental aspect of seeing the most perfect physique and then watching it fade away as you put the body fat back on so you can kind of get the gains. It's hard. Yeah.
It's called peak week for a reason, y'all. When you're that lean, it's not healthy. There's lean and there's contest lean.
Yeah.
If you're contest lean, you can't maintain it, and it's not healthy to maintain. If you're just lean, yes, you can maintain it. If you're beach lean, yes, it's healthy. Yes, you can maintain it. But if you're doing a contest, you do it correctly, you're going to get to a lean that's not healthy.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple more. Aileen says, tips to feel back. Start with reverse fly with a band, 4 sets, 25. Interesting.
All right.
Angel said, I couldn't keep up with training with heavy weight, so I'm back to moderate weight with high volume. Good adjust, Angel. If them heavy weights are beating you up, you can still keep making the gains, like you said. Higher volume with moderate weight.
You can only do what you can recover from. So, I mean, recovery is so pivotal to building muscle. If you can't recover, it's just not worth doing.
Yeah, it's stimulus and recovery. If you shortchange either one of those, you're shortchanging your goals.
Absolutely.
The last one's for you.
All right. How's the prep for your show going? I know you're going to win. Oh, thanks, Todd. It's going good. So down 1.2 pounds this week. Got 19 weeks left to go. I think it's going pretty good. I haven't actually competed in 4 years. So me and James are actually really curious at what weight I will be at stage lean. Previously, it was around the 130s. I don't think it'll be around the 130s. I think it'll be slightly higher than that. So yeah, I think it's going good so far.
Yeah, I agree. And as she's leaning out, I can already see new muscle and bigger muscle and fuller muscles, which she can't see it yet, but I can. So the leaner she gets, the more that muscle is going to pop out. The new muscle, the more dense muscle, the more mature muscle. You know, I can already see it, but the leaner she gets, the more you're going to see popping out.
Yeah, once I get below 150, it will be a pretty drastic change. You guys will see a pretty drastic change. But yeah, thank you for asking. I'm excited. All right. Brandon says, I'm about to step out on an hour or so walk run and match that with another hour of basic calisthenics. Just dropping in on another Sunday to show your channel some love. It's appreciated.
Thanks, Brandon. We appreciate you.
Yeah, go get those gains.
Angel said I did have trouble recovering, and that's a good adjust, Angel. That's a fantastic adjust, baby.
Now, this is interesting. Aileen, I got this thing with beets. I cannot stand beets. Maybe I'd be fine with beet juice though, but James loves beets and he swears by it for vascularity, for, you know, all sorts of health reasons. He does beets every day.
So to answer your question, Aileen, no, I do not do beet juice from vascularity on contest. I eat beets every single day of my life for the vascularity. There's more than vascularity. It's a vasodilator. So it lowers your blood pressure. It gets more oxygen into your muscle faster. It takes waste products away faster. And it swells your veins, makes you look more veiny, and that's cool.
Dude, so funny though, right? So it was like a year ago, he would be like, I'd be like, I'm freezing. He's like, you need to eat more beets. And then, so yeah, now all of a sudden he's the cold one. I'm like, how are those beets working for you?
Yeah. I eat them cold. That's why they make me cold. Aileen says mix your beet juice with lemonade.
Okay. I can see how that would cut down that taste. I'm probably fine with beet juice. It's just like the texture of the beet. I just can't do it.
So when I open the can, I will drink the beet juice, and then I put the beets into my Tupperware because I take them to work for breakfast every day.
He does. We got like 6 Tupperware things right now with beets in them.
Yep. Beets and yogurt. Blue Spash says I do super beets. I tried the powdered beets. I didn't like them.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't like the powdered beets. I just like the real beets. But I couldn't do the powdered ones, man.
Maybe I'll start stealing your beet juice out of your cans.
Brother James, what's your favorite pre-workout? Okay, so right now it's got to be, what's his name?
Gaspari.
Excuse me. Man, Gaspari Super Pump Aggressive. Right now is smoking all of them, man. And I'm going to throw Legion under the bus right now. Legion reached out for a possible sponsorship, and I never tried Legion pre-workout before, so I ordered it real quick before I gave them a yes or no, and I tried it this morning, and it's awful. I'm going to have to turn down that sponsorship because their pre-workout ain't. And if I'm not going to use it, I'm not going to push it.
Of course not. It's probably good for me. I don't know, his sensitivity or whatever, it takes a lot to like get him fired up, or I'm a little more sensitive to caffeine. So, you know, Legion might be perfectly fine for me. I don't know.
Could be. You know, I gave this story before. I took No Explode for years, but then it became too weak and I had to get a stronger one. My second favorite is 5150, my man, by man, I can't remember names today.
Rich Piana.
Rich Piana, thank you. Jeez.
That is a good one.
5% nutrition, 5150. It has 551 grams of caffeine in it, and it's still not as good as Gaspari's.
That's interesting. I'm scared to try Gaspari then.
Gaspari doesn't mess up my stomach either. A lot of them mess my stomach up. Gaspari does not.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan right now of Gaspari Super Pump Aggressive.
I tried the C-Bomb. What was the C-Bomb one I tried? It was really great. Like, it was almost too intense for me, though. So that's another good one.
Aileen says high citrulline in that pre-workout. Yeah, they should probably all should have the high citrulline. That's a precursor to your NO. So it makes your body produce your NO, which is vasodilator. That's why the citrulline's in your pre-workout. Native Grit says Apollon Nutrition out of New Jersey has some crazy pre-workouts. Hey, Gaspari's out of New Jersey as well. Big T, No Explode is the OG of pre-workouts.
You gotta be careful with that, man. You go shaking it in your container and go to open your top, it just like pops your top.
Do not, it says on the bottle, do not shake it. You stir it.
Who's stirring it? Everyone's shaking that thing. That's part of the fun. Like, get your thumb blown off.
It builds pressure up if you shake. It's the only pre-workout I know that does that.
Yeah.
It builds pressure up. So if you got your shaker and the top is snapped down and you shake it, be ready when you pop that top. You're going to have some pressure behind it.
So this week, y'all, I actually tried a no-stim pre-workout by Bucked Up. Forget the actual name of the pre-workout itself, but it was actually pretty good. It was this rare day where I didn't get my cardio in the morning. I knew I had to go after work, which for me, doing anything in the afternoon, like after 4:30, is just like, it's horrible. I actually felt like it did do something. Like, I did have mental clarity. I was focused on my cardio. I got through it. I wasn't dragging ass. So, you know, even non-stim pre-workout can be effective. I don't know whether it was just like a placebo effect where I was like, oh, well, I took this, so I should feel good. But hey, it got me through what I needed to do.
Aileen said it's got baking soda in it. That's why. I would love to see baking soda on the list of ingredients on a pre-workout. That'd be awesome.
That's funny. I have not tried to shake. Like, I've been drinking the baking soda, but I'm not like shaking it.
True. So. I stir it up and then I'll do it like a shot, like I said.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I love the engagements and the questions.
Yes, we are here for you. We love answering these questions, y'all.
So now let's talk about a little bit of training techniques to get you guys that summer lean. You know, I think all of the resistance principles that we talk about on our channel are all still in effect. Like, you gotta prioritize hypertrophy, progressive overload. Like, if there's one thing I think I want you guys to take away from our channel, is that progressive overload is king. And there's different ways to do that, but if you're not doing that, you're just not going to grow. You're not going to see the growth you want.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to argue that one.
Yeah.
You got to do more or stay the same.
You know, I think you still want to focus on compound movements. Like, you are incorporating so many different muscle groups, so you're able to burn more. I mean, a set of deadlifts is completely more intense than doing an isolation exercise. So if you're trying to burn more and get that definition, that's definitely going to help you to focus on the compounds.
Aileen says high reps to break a sweat on one exercise. That is one tip. Yes. Dave Buster says endorphins. That's the hormone release when you exercise, makes you feel good, gives you that euphoric feeling.
I love that. Stress reliever.
Aileen, that's a good tip. And I had a buddy at Gold's Gym. He went higher reps and took 30-second breaks to lean out.
Yeah.
He didn't do cardio. He didn't change his diet. All he did was 20 reps instead of 10 and 30-second breaks instead of 2 to 5 minutes.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Took him a couple months, but my man got ripped up.
For sure. I mean, we do that with a lot of our competitive athletes. We'll give them more supersets, more giant sets, just to kind of up the volume a little bit, keep them moving while they're with us.
Angel said I like making my pre-workout as a slushy. That's different.
I've never tried that. How do you actually do that, Angel? Like, are you blending up ice or what are you doing?
Big T says, why is it when you're in a deficit, you're typically more hungry? I get more hungry when on a deficit. Because you're in a deficit, Big T. That's why.
I mean, that's just like human nature, right? Like hormonally, your body's like, oh, no, Big T. Like, that's your hormones play a big part in that too. It's not just like a mental thing.
Yeah, so you're in a deficit, you're eating less. That's why you're hungry, buddy. Because you're eating a lot less than you normally do, which is going to be like, man, I'm hungry. Right? Aileen said if you drink it warm, it absorbs faster. That's good advice. Good to know. I drink it at room temperature. I don't like cold stuff, so just about everything I drink is at room temp. So
sometimes you will drink hot water if you're cold. I know a couple of times I've grabbed his cup like after dinner. I'm like, ugh, why is this water hot?
Yes, if I'm cold, I will drink hot water, yo.
Oh, tuna shake. That sounds nasty, Native Grit.
Native Grit, you know I've been around long enough. I've had a tuna shake, brother. You know I have. It's nastier than nasty. Tuna shake is a can of tuna with Diet Coke blended together. It's supposed to taste like soda. It does not.
That would
taste like tuna soda. It's gross.
That's horrible.
It's gross.
Why are you doing that?
It was a big thing in the 90s to try to get your protein in. Drink it as a shake, blah, blah, blah. But it's just another, I'd rather have tuna with some mayonnaise on crackers or bread or something than a tuna shake, because that tuna shake was not good, bro.
I am still kind of anti-tuna. There was one contest prep where I swear all I ate was like tuna fish, just packets of tuna.
Yeah, packets.
Oh, I like see one of those tuna packs now, and I'm like, nope, can't do it. So... what other? So there's definitely some high intensity techniques for finishing that you could incorporate. So, I would recommend trying to do drop sets in there, maybe some rest pause to intensify your sets, because even like we said, even at a slight surplus, gaining muscle is all about intensity and bringing it to that next level. So,
yeah. All right. We got a couple questions. Drink your chicken gross. Yes, there is chicken shakes. No, I haven't tried the chicken shake because I tried the tuna shake and it was nasty enough. Todd Johnson says, Brother James is doing weighted pull-ups daily counterproductive. Good question. I'm going to say yes. Remember, it's stimulus, it's recovery. If you're stimulating with the weighted pull-ups, you got to let it recover and then hit them again. You're not letting them recover if you hit them every day. So you're on the right track. Just let it recover before you hit it again, brother. Native Grit said, I thought it was tuna and orange juice. Ooh.
That sounds better than Diet Coke or whatever you said.
No, it doesn't. Oh, I never tried it with orange juice, man. I tried it with that Diet Coke. That was enough. I was good. My mom was laughing at me, all kinds of stuff. All right, Angel said I put it in the freezer, making sure it's not frozen solid. That makes sense.
All right.
Yep.
I like that.
Dave and Buster, just make your macros.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day.
You have a very good point. Simple, right? Eat your calories, eat your macros. Simple, but not easy, brother. Not easy at all. This is where most people fall short. They can't push that plate away.
Right.
This is simple. It is. Here's your food for the day. This is why I put it in my phone, so I know what I'm eating for the day. It's simple, right? But then I eat every ounce of that food, every drop of that food, and I'm still hungry.
I mean, it's a challenge, right? So I'm dieting right now. James is, trying to find his maintain. And our daughter just, she kind of eats, she's a caveman diet. She eats all of her food at night. So I'm just like looking at them like, oh my God. So I actually get up from the table and I go brush my teeth. And as soon as I brush my teeth, like I just no longer am going to put something in there. So for me, that's just like the tip that helps me stop at night and not, continue on. But
that's a Pamela Anderson tip. She said, if you don't want to eat, brush your teeth.
Or chew some gum or something.
And it's right. If you brush your teeth and you try to eat something after that, it's nasty anyway. Just make your macros. Okay. Did you try the sets? Not yet, brother. Not yet. They are on the list. Naval Grit says EAA popsicles.
All right, okay, get down on that. I like that.
I might. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, actually. Terrence says the training part's easy. It's the dieting and the work you put in the kitchen that comes challenging. You are correct, brother. We're American. American culture is all about eating and drinking. So Camille already said it. You're going to go, I don't care who you are, you're going to go to an event at least once a month. Birthday, anniversary, half hour, retirement, you name it.
It's all centered around food.
And it's food and drink. Mm-hmm. And it's tough when you got that fantastic, fantastic food, but you can't eat it. Simple, but not easy.
I mean, I recommend if you're in those situations to fill up on the protein sources first and then eat the carb sources, because then you'll have less room. You'll already be full, ate the good stuff. Like that's, a good way to go about it.
Aileen's got another great tip. Meal prep is key. And this is, if you do meal prep correctly, you do not have any extra food. You do not have any food laying around the house. It is just your meal prep, and that is all you're eating for the week. Now, if you have a kid, like Camille just said, you're going to have food around the house that's not on your meal prep.
Oh, dude. She'll be in there whipping up frozen pizza, some cookies, and we're like, oh!
But if you're alone or it's just you and your partner and you do meal prep correctly, it is a great tip. You're not going to get any extra food unless you drive yourself to the store and go buy it.
Yeah, I was going to say, even with the meal prep, you have to be disciplined. You have to be okay watching others eat things. You got to actually eat the meals that you prep. Don't order DoorDash and just let your meals sit in the refrigerator.
Don't eat the donuts that everybody brings to work every morning.
Yeah. So you
eat your beets and your yogurt. Don't eat those donuts that are there every morning.
Yeah, definitely tough for sure. All right, so back to more training tips. I think you got to be a little strategic with your cardio integration when you're looking to have that beach physique. You want fat loss, but you don't want muscle loss. So the cardio, you don't want that ramped up so high that it's making those gains suffer. I know maybe me and James have differing opinions on this a little bit, but I do believe that if you have too much cardio in there, you can chew through muscle, even if you are still lifting heavy and all that and have body fat.
There's too many variables in there. It's an individualized thing. Some people are cardiovascular in shape and some people are cardiovascular not in shape.
Right.
So it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, I know there was a year. Was this my last show? It was maybe my last show in 2021. I actually did the DEXA scans for body fat, and it was interesting. I was doing a lot of cardio, you guys, and I noticed that over time, I actually lost muscle mass going into that show, and I could see it, and it was very disappointing. So that was a lesson learned for me that, hey, I need to approach the cardio a little different, maybe focus on more HIIT style, less duration, so I don't kind of burn into that muscle. But
Aileen says I train harder when I cut. Just me, I guess. Not just you, brother. I'm training hard, cut, bulk, regardless.
I'm
training hard, baby. And if you're progressive overloading, you're training hard regardless. Bulk, cut, maintain. You're training hard because you got your numbers and you're going more.
Right.
Angel said, keep lifting, keep living, keep laughing. See you guys next Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, Angel. We appreciate you, brother. Watching right now while on the treadmill. Dave and Buster.
Yeah, it's a great way to pass time. We love looking at other channels and stuff too when we're doing cardio.
True.
But yeah, so back to the cardio, if you are trying to do 3 to 5 days a week, more moderate cardio might be for you, 30, 45 minutes. That's not going to cut into your gains per se. If you're more of the, hey, I'd rather get in and out, hits more for me, then, 2-3 days a week might be sufficient, 15 to 20 minutes. One technique that I just started doing is actually just doing 5 to 10 minutes a hit after my training session. Man, you spike that heart rate, it does something to you. I don't know how to explain it, but spiking that heart rate right after your training session for that short period of time, you can feel your metabolism really speed up after that throughout the day.
Yeah, it's nasty. Aileen says cluster sets, which I believe is the same as giant sets, and that's a great tip. You're going to add more volume, burn more calories. Todd says, thank you so much for taking time to answer all these questions. You guys are the best. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that, brother. We're here to help. That's why we're answering these questions. You know, we're both passionate about this, and we love to spread the passion, man.
Absolutely. So we are kind of past our hour here. So I think, do you want to maybe cover supplements for that beach physique next week? And we'll talk about how to get those gains through the supplements.
Sure.
Yeah. That way we're not trying to rush that through. I definitely want to take the time and talk about how different supplements can support those goals as well.
Native Grit says, what's your thoughts on future bodybuilding? Who will take over? Samson Duda is going to be the future of bodybuilding. You know, I love, man, I'm terrible with names today. Jeez Louise. He just won the Arnold.
Yeah, I'm brain farting on that one too.
I can't think of his name. All I can think is Derrick Henry. It's not Derrick Henry. Yeah, Samson Duda is going to be the future, brother. If he can nail his conditioning, he's got enough size now. He's got a smaller waist, better aesthetics, and as much size as all the other bodybuilders. That said, if Andrew Jack could fix his hamstrings, I like Andrew Jack's physique a whole lot. I mean, I love his physique until he turns around. And his back is good, but the hamstrings, man, they're just missing. I'm sure he's hammering them because he knows they're missing, but they're just not coming up. It's been a couple years now, and he's not bringing them up.
Yeah,
but I love Andrew Jack's physique. Mike is going to be the future of Classic. There's no question about that. Bumstead retired. They were actually tied going into finals at the Olympia. So Mike's going to be the future of Classic.
I really want Wesley Vissers to do better. Like, he is like my fan favorite in the Classic. I just love listening to his videos, watching what he does. But like, man,
yeah,
he can't seem to catch up to them.
I'm a big fan of Vissers too. He's a little blocky. He's tall.
That makes it hard.
He's got to fill in a lot more. And he was way off at the Arnold because he was sick.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can bounce back at the Olympia and then the Arnold next year and do well. We will see. But I'm going to tell you right now, Mike's the future of Classic. There's no question about that. And Samson Duda is the future of bodybuilding. You heard it here first. Alien says me at the Stairmaster after legs.
Baby, that's nasty.
Man. That is, man. I hope you get in before the soreness that kicks in, baby. Whew.
That's the best time to do it, actually. He's probably on to something.
Right? Blood flush. Get the blood flush. Get the waste products out of them legs.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's topic, which was trying to get lean while still, making those gains and building muscle, kind of trying to get ready for that summer physique. So yeah, just to kind of recap some of our main points, look at the diet, get creative. Don't be afraid to do like a zigzag diet or something like that so you can get the best of both worlds, where you're still supporting your needs for heavy, hard training, but still kind of have some caloric deficit there to shave off the body fat.
And give yourself some time to figure it out, a couple weeks, couple months even, if that's what it takes. Once you figured it out, once you nail it down, it's just minor adjustments from there. But figuring it out, nailing it down is going to be the hard part. Aileen said yes to flush acid, and then talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in, Aileen. Appreciate you, brother. Remember, next week we're going to talk about the supplements to stay lean this summer while building muscle.
Yes. All right. Well, bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.